What is up, fellow bench warmers? Welcome to your daily Fantasy Quickie. Hey guys, what's up? Judgment Day of week... What week is it? 17.
17. So, week 18 na tayo. Yes.
So, week 18, start of the week 18. So everyone's in the playoff mode right now. Some are in vacation mode. Some, unfortunately, some are still battling. Some are in their finals, some are in their semis. So, everyone's pretty much on the same type of gameplay at this moment. Because, like we said, playoff is different from how you treat players in the regular season, right? I guess the playoffs is faster paced. You can, in the regular season, you could be more patient and wait for players to perform. In the playoffs, there's really no time for that because you only have 1 week to survive and then think of the following week as well, right? 1 week to survive without giving up too much so that you can still compete the following week. So, Komish.
Hello guys.
Did you win today?
Yeah. I was
Easily.
able to win. It ended up, as I was discussing to you, that I was down 3-5 and there were 4 or 5 close. 4 or 5, but there were close categories. But I got most of the categories. I was able to win them. So it was a 7-2 win. But they were close.
All right. Playoff story. I have a playoff story. I was telling this to Komish and this morning. So game started 1 a.m. Manila time, right? Game started 1 a.m. Manila time. There was this Boston game. This was in my semifinal matchup. I was
Boston.
up.
What was the game? Boston.
I can
Charlotte.
remember. Yeah, Boston Charlotte. I was in my semifinal matchup. I was up 5-4 before today's game, and I was leading by 1 steal. I was ahead 3 turnovers, so meaning I had 3 less turnovers than my opponent. And I was leading the field goal by 0.003. So that's a really close margin, right?
Yes.
So it was 6 against 6 in terms of the players who would play today. The problem was I did not notice that my opponent sat out all his players.
But after the 1 a.m. game.
No, I did not. I was not able to check before the 1 a.m. game. So I woke up at around 3:50 in the morning. For some reason, I just woke up. I checked the scores for the 1 a.m. game. And then I checked the matchup. And I saw that no one in his team played.
So he gave up the field goal. Because he was down, right?
No, he was down, yes.
He was down in field goal.
In field goal. He needed to just win 1. And maybe he was really thinking about the turnovers, right? The turnovers was an easy win. If he sits all 6 players and I play all 6 players, 6 players could probably get 6 turnovers, 3 turnovers at least, right? And I didn't have. It's not like my players were not turnover prone. I had Norm Powell. At that time, 3 a.m. Tristan Thompson already had 2 turnovers, so I was just up 1 turnover. So it was pretty bleak. And by the time that I was supposed to sit Norm Powell, which had a 4 a.m. game, Norm Powell and DeAnthony Melton, it was too late. The rosters were locked.
You cannot sit them anymore.
But
in the 1 a.m. game, you only had Tristan Thompson there, right?
Yep. And he had 2 turnovers.
For the whole game, he had 2 turnovers.
Yep, for the whole game.
So if you woke up a little earlier, you would have been able to salvage turnovers. Because you were up 3 turnovers.
I was able to. If I didn't play everyone, so here's what happened. So I lost already that match after I think just in the first half because Norm Powell had 2 turnovers I think in the first half and DeAnthony Melton had 1, so that's pretty much over the turnovers. I once I lost the turnovers, that's done, right? So just so I somehow felt good about myself. If I sat everyone down, and he sat everyone down, he had a 10 a.m. game, which was Delon, right?
Okay.
He actually made a great move. He sat everyone down. Even if I saw that and I sat everyone down, he would still have one player for the 10 a.m. game, which can catch the steals. And I was just ahead by one, right? So all he needed was 2 steals.
Yeah.
So that was really, really smart. So another playoff story to learn from, right? That was really smart.
But this is something that, a lot of veterans do.
It's a veteran move. And from my end, it was a rookie mistake because I did not check, right? I wasn't worried too much about the turnovers and the field goal because I was, in my mind, I was thinking we would most likely play everyone, right?
Yes.
It did not come to my mind that he can sit down all his players and win the turnover, and that's done, right? So it was a really good move, and I have to admit, I have to commend that manager. I actually put in a message in our group chat at around 4 a.m. commended the manager for doing that because it's pretty much done. I lost already that match. Even if I sat down all my players, though, I would still have lost because Delon Wright had two steals, so he would have won the steals anyway.
So, it means the manager won by doing what he did. That was the only way he could have possibly won, and that in Tagalog it's called nagulangan. I mean, Jeremy.
Well, it's really not the only way he could have won, but he lessened the risk of losing.
Yes.
Right. He didn't play all because he was down already in the turnovers. Right. He was already down. So if he played everyone, he would have been in a disadvantage. But he could have still won because my players could have had more turnovers and shot the ball badly. Right. I had Norm Powell. I have Melton who didn't shoot the ball well. And then I have a couple of centers. I had Brook Lopez, who's a shooter and not really a good field goal shooting center. So the odds are with him, even if we played everyone. But he lessened the risk and had a backup plan. So very, very, very smart. And that's a lesson.
And ballsy move because it's a playoff, you know.
Yep. Sitting everyone during the playoffs is. We were talking about this the other day, right? It would, if you want to sit players, you'd probably have to wait until the last day.
The last day, yes.
And do it in a very calculated way, like how this manager did it. So another lesson for you guys, because we are getting questions about should I sit this player because the free throws are kind of close or the turnovers are, but it was during the middle of the week, right? And it's really hard to say in the middle of the week if that would matter or not, right? So
especially with injuries, COVID, and a lot of things happening. Like as I said, my struggle this week in my playoff was I was losing players left and right. But in the middle of the week, he lost Boucher. I mean, he lost Robert. He didn't have Robert Williams, Boucher, and I think my opponent lost a couple more players. So he was more unfortunate than me. So so you don't sit that early because you really don't.
It's part of the game. It's part of the game. And another, I guess, lesson here as well. One of our followers also had the similar problem. He sat a player. I think we told this story about
yes
middle of the week. He sat Ja Morant because he was worried about Ja Morant's free throws. So he sat him in the middle of the week. And then Ja Morant went perfect from the free throw. Today, he just messaged me he lost the free throw because Richaun Holmes shot 3 out of 6 in the free throw. And that would have been a big difference maker if he played Ja Morant, right?
Ja was 9 of 12 today in free throws. That was bad, 75%.
Yep.
And I know the Richaun Holmes story because he missed 3 straight And then the fourth
Yep,
quarter,
it was just. He also mentioned that it was like the fourth quarter, I think.
it was actually the last few minutes. The last two was the last minute, I think, or last few seconds, and that hurts. That really hurts.
That would really hurt. I mean, if he would have made one, that would have been a big difference already.
Yes.
And yeah, he was, I think, the first seed even. So that's a
Oh.
big.
Ouch.
I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure he's in the top half of the seedings and not at the bottom. So yeah, I guess these are things we learn as we go through the playoff journey of fantasy basketball, and somehow it makes it a little more exciting, right? I mean, the things like these are quite exciting as well, and we will have stories to tell about these types of playoff matchups. All right, so let's talk about the quickie today. Daniel Gafford won a lot of managers some playoffs with that 4 steals 4 block day.
I mean, every playoff nowadays are close, very close. And imagine Daniel Gafford giving you that. Both defensive stat at that. So I've got lots of messages that how they love him. So I think he's gonna be a very, very popular guy. And again, he will not start. He will probably be. I mean, Alex Len is still playing, still starting. There's 3 centers in Washington, but even if there's bad games here and there, you see 17, 18 minutes. He's a per minute stud. So so just keep him. Just keep him for the playoff run right now. That's
and he gives you a lot. I mean, the defensive stats are there, but he is also a good field goal shooter. He has high field goal percentages.
True, that's true.
He doesn't turn the ball over too much. That's for Russell Westbrook to do.
Yes.
So he is, and he contributes fast, right? Not like Alex Len or the other center. Who's their other center? I forgot.
Robin Lopez.
Yes.
Robin Lopez.
So he is definitely a stud, and so congratulations if you held on to him after he got injured, or you were able to pick him up right before he came back. Jaren Jackson had to rest today, maybe because Jonas Valanciunas was back.
Yes, and it's a back-to-back. Tomorrow is a back-to-back. So as I said, when we were discussing the weekly thing, or actually when I wrote the weekly thing, there are back-to-backs where it's Sunday, Monday, or Sunday of the previous week and Monday of the next week. So it's up to you what you prefer, really. Sometimes you'll really prefer that if you're already winning this week, you'd prefer he just rest this week so that next week or tomorrow he will be playing, which is what will happen. Which is good for Jaren Jackson owners because next week they have another back-to-back. Yep. So if he played today and did not play tomorrow, you'll have only 2 games next week because there's still another back-to-back by the end of the week. Mm-hmm. So at least now you'll have 3 games of Jaren Jackson. So that's good news. That's good news for his owners.
Yep. And another good news would be the returning players. Yes. KD returned as well today.
KD was really, really, really good. I don't know how many minutes he got today.
He has always been good, and the only problem with KD is staying on the floor.
Yes, that is true. Staying on the floor, and they have a back-to-back, so I have to mention it that he might miss that one. But of course, the questions about Jeff Green, Bruce Brown, what do we do about them? Well, I can't recommend holding on to Bruce Brown if you only got 10 minutes today. I had hoped he would get 20 at least, even with KD. But with 10 minutes, maybe you have to move on right now.
Yep.
So and that is how it is right now.
So KD back. Bruce Brown, he's in one of our drop recommendations, one of the hotter players that could be dropped already because of the low minutes. And aside from these, who else are returning? Jonas Valanciunas, I was mentioned, and Richaun Holmes. Richaun Holmes also returned today. Did not play great, but wasn't too bad except for the 3 missed free throws. Wasn't too bad. He is on a back-to-back, so tomorrow, there's really no news yet if he's gonna play tomorrow.
I feel he won't. I feel he won't. I mean, he just came back. from a hamstring injury. Although he could because he was given 20 minutes restriction actually today. He only I didn't know that. I thought he was gonna be full blast. That's why I played him in some of my leagues. But apparently he's in a 20-minute restriction. So maybe he gets 20 minutes again tomorrow. That's very possible. But don't expect a big game from him in 20 minutes.
And tomorrow, it's pretty much a full slate tomorrow. There's a lot of games as well. So you might have some spare players there laying around, not being part of the roster. So you have to be aware if Richaun Holmes would play or not. If he would play, I think at 20 minutes you should still play him. Do you think?
Yeah.
Maybe depends on who's the other guy that you're holding on to.
Okay. You mean you should still play him because you have a full lineup and you have other players that
you have, because some teams may have extra players who are not playing tomorrow, who are also playing tomorrow, but they are probably second tier players or lower level players than Richaun Holmes, right? So if Richaun Holmes plays tomorrow, and given the minutes restrictions of 20 minutes, and given that he is one of the top fantasy players in the league, do you play him already, even with the minutes restriction?
It depends on who you will replace, as you said. But in general, I will play him. But I will say this: if you have spare players tomorrow that you can play, you are a lucky manager, because a lot of my leagues I have complete players that could play, but a lot of them are game time decision, questionable, injured.
And that's good as well if you have spare players for tomorrow's games, because there might be some late scratches that you have some spare players to plug in case there are late scratches. So
I have two in mind: Joel Embiid, Tobias Harris, and I feel Tobias won't play tomorrow
because it's a back-to-back.
No, it's not a back-to-back.
He's out.
They put him as questionable, and they said that it's sore knee management. He did not get injured the last game. It's not a back-to-back. So if a team puts this out,
that means he's gonna rest.
Yes, that means he's gonna rest. And I think Philadelphia's matchup tomorrow is a weak one, a weak team. So I'm not sure if it's OKC or whoever it is, but I think that's the reason. Maybe they think I'm gonna win without you tomorrow. So I have a feeling he's not gonna play. Embiid might play.
Injured.
Embiid is injured, but he might play. I think if his shoulder in the shoot around is okay, he will play more than Tobias. I think Tobias, there's a chance that he won't play. So you have to watch out for that.
All right. So there Okay, so now we move on to some players some injured players where people have questions on whether to hold or drop. KPJ, Christian Wood, Trae Young, these three players in particular. Let's talk about KPJ first. I guess
think you have KPJ, right?
Yeah, I have him? In one league, I have KPJ and Trae.
Okay, so what did you do?
In one of the FBW leagues. Well, I've held on to them since last week. So I haven't really dropped Trae, and I'm having second thoughts if I should drop him right now because it's just the quarterfinals. And with KPJ coming back, I was thinking I might be able to. I don't know. I really don't know. But I just feel like he might come back this week. So I just felt like I'll probably hold on to him until the next Houston games, see if he's going to play and see if there will be updates from there.
I agree.
And then if there are none, then I have to decide whether to drop either KPJ or Trae Young. I guess it would depend on where I am in the matchup. How far am I against the other team, or if I'm leading that matchup, then we'll see. I guess I'll play it on a day-to-day basis.
I agree. KPJ, let's start with KPJ. The nature of the injury or whatever is the protocol. So if he's not positive for COVID, I think he should be back already by the next game. So I'm holding, because for me, you should have dropped him if you wanted to drop him as early as the time that they said that he's going to be out for protocols. You should have dropped him then. But in Jeremy's case, he was not in the playoffs yet, so it was correct that he did not drop him yet. So if you're holding him until now, then hold him for until at least in the next game. Now, Trae,
their next game is Wednesday, I think.
yeah, Wednesday
here, Manila time.
Yeah, Manila time. So the second day of the week. So that's not too far, anyways, right? So Trae, again, I'm not saying he's not a Wolverine or anything, but the latest is that he has not done anything yet. I mean, he's not running. He's not, doing any light drills yet. So, based on logical human nature or human body, if you're not yet running, there's no way you're gonna play in 3 to 4 days, right? So, he's most possibly out this week. So, if it's your finals week, you can move on.
That's
right?
the hard part. It's if you are actually in your finals week, or even if you are in your semifinals week, I think it's easy drop. But if you are in your quarters, that's the challenge for me. I'm not sure if I should be dropping him. And again, there's this chance that KPJ comes back, so I'll probably wait because I have that IL spot. Trae Young. There. Christian Wood.
Oh, this one again. I also got a lot of questions today about Wood. And they asked me, he was put into game time decision. So they asked what happened. I said, I don't know. I really don't know how severe the ankle
injury,
is. I'm holding Christian Wood until like Jeremy until the next game. Because I read an article for you guys. I'm reading a lot of articles, the local articles. And the writer said that in the next game, Houston will get all their players back. So, I don't know how connected this writer is or whatever, but he said there are going to be 11 players next game because Daniel House, John Wall, KPJ, and Wood will be back. So I'll trust him for the meantime because that's the only news I've got for Christian Wood.
Yeah, so I think you hold. And besides, if you have moves limit in your leagues, if you drop him, you'll probably add someone else, right? You're gonna use that add on someone else, right? For me, at this point, you have a full slate tomorrow. The following day, you might have lesser players, but I think you could still wait a couple of days before starting to, make your moves or adding players, right? And besides, there might be some lower end players who you could still drop, right? So use that there as well. First 2 days, I think I can afford to be more patient when it comes to just to see how the matchup goes and then adapt on what stats would I want to focus on. I think that's what the thing we've been telling everyone ever since this playoff started, right? Take it a day at a time and adapt, and don't use your moves too early. All right, so other players who got injured had replacements, and now there are some questions about certain players who were performing or who we thought would replace some of these injured players. First, De'Aaron Fox is out on COVID protocol, and he'll probably be out this week as well.
Yeah, this week he's out.
Yep, he's out this week and probably some parts of next week because he got it late last week. So I think he'll be out maybe until mid next week.
Yeah.
Many people added Delon Wright. Okay, many people added Delon, but we all know Tyrese Haliburton would be the major beneficiary for this, right? We've said it before. Delon Wright would have an outside chance of being a good fantasy player again, given that he'll have more usage. But today he was okay, so. Do you trust Delon Wright?
I trust Delon Wright.
Do you think he'll be able to? Is he a hold at least for this week?
A hold. I'll vote Delon Wright if he's running for president. I trust Delon Wright, but trust is a big word because if you're looking for 20 points a game because the Aaron Fox is gone or whatever, you're gonna be disappointed. I think you've listened to us long enough to know that Delon Wright is not a scorer. No. Today he had 6 rebounds, 5 assists, and 2 steals. That's the best. If that's what he's gonna give me, I'm happy with that. And that's what I expect him to give me. So I'm okay with that.
The biggest stat, if you are playing categories, I think steals and a little assist.
Yes.
He is not a very, for a point guard, he is not a very turnover prone point guard. So he doesn't hurt you in that category. He's not a volume shooter. He doesn't shoot the ball badly. So he is good in those types of categories, but he is not a volume scorer as well. So he doesn't give you points. He doesn't give you threes as much.
In points
he can
league,
rebound. He can rebound for a point guard.
In points league, I don't think he's a must roster or must add. But in normal standard leagues, yes, I think you hold him.
All right. So hold Delon Wright, and of course Tyrese Haliburton had 24 points today, and I think he had 8 rebound, 8 assists.
8 assists, 1 steal, and he had 20 attempts today. 20 attempts. So
that's a lot, but
And
the good thing is he had that many attempts.
That's it. I mean, I don't care how many he made. I'm just happy that he got 20 attempts. It means even if he shoots terribly, he's gonna have a decent game, right?
Yep.
So there.
But that would not sit well with some managers as well, because we've known Haliburton as a very efficient player. Some managers might want more efficiency, but he'll come around. He has been struggling before this, so at least now he's been given opportunity to score and do more.
He got 10 out of 20 today. So even with more attempts, he's not going to be a 30% shooter. I mean, he's okay. He's okay.
True. 10 out of 20 is not bad. That's 50%.
50%, that's okay.
Yeah. So there, and another set of players. Well, no one got injured here, but Yusuf Nurkic has played great two great games against Memphis. I'm not sure if it's just a matchup issue for Memphis that they weren't able to, that they allowed Nurkic to do this. The concern now is Enes Kanter. Enes Kanter, we all know, is a hold because Nurkic wasn't really dependent. We weren't really sure if we can depend on Nurkic yet, and Nurkic was sitting down back-to-backs. This was not a back-to-back game, but two great games by Nurkic. Is Enes Kanter a drop or a hold, or what to do with Enes?
I'm hold. Enes Kanter is a hold. They have a back-to-back coming this week, so he's gonna explode, and that's early in the week. So at least you hold him early in the week. But mostly, I think it's a matchup thing. It's a matchup thing with Nurkic. Memphis is a rather faster-paced team, and
they're smaller. The first game they were smaller. They had Tillman in the center. Today they had Valanciunas, but really, Valanciunas is really not known for defense. So
yes, and I think Kanter was still not that great, not the 2010 Kanter, but he had 1 to 2 blocks. He had 6-7 rebounds. I mean, it's good. It's okay. I mean, if you're holding on to Moses Brown and those players, I'd rather own Kanter right now. So I'm holding with Kanter.
All right. You mentioned Moses Brown. Is Moses Brown worth a number 1 waiver priority?
No.
All right. That's just for my sake, because he
not
is
even in a 5-game week.
So there.
Not even in 5 games.
All right. So those are the players that we want to talk about. But lastly, I guess players that you might be dropping already. Jalen McDaniels from Charlotte. This is the Charlotte McDaniels. He has been moved back to the bench role, and PJ Washington has been playing great.
And Cody Martin.
Yep, Cody Martin. Miles is also playing great throughout the season. Rozier has played great. So
LaMelo is coming back.
So Jalen McDaniels' value would definitely plummet. So yeah, safe to drop.
He still has 1 or 2 steals and blocks, some threes, but no need to hold on to him. You should go and look for.
He's probably just a specialist like the Jaden McDaniels, like his brother Jaden.
Yeah.
He give you
like
a block and a steal a game, and if you need that, if it's too close and you need someone to stream, you could add them for a steal and a block. Brandon Goodwin, many hoped would be playing well, but he didn't. He played well the first game, so this might be a little fluke. He started the second half, I think, of the game, so that's good news. But he didn't, do much as well. He had, I think, 5 assists. That's pretty much it, and 3 points. So Is he a hold or a drop?
I'm dropping. I mean, I can add him for a streaming him, but I won't hold him after adding him and just drop him right after because, as I said, he cannot be consistent if he comes off the bench. Jeremy did say he started the second half. I don't know if they're gonna make it the new thing going forward. But without any news, I'm dropping.
Yeah, and Bogdanovic is playing great.
Yeah,
for the past few games without Trae Young, so I don't
he's
think
a first round value. That past 2 weeks, can you believe picking up someone?
He is actually an annoying player to be against.
Yes.
Because he is not, he is playing way above his expected value, and he's been playing great. I mean, he's not, he doesn't shoot the ball bad. He shoots threes. He has steals and he has volume steals like 2, 3, 4 steals. I think today he had 4 or 3.
Yes,
yep.
he had 4, I think, and he's averaging 5 3-pointers in the last month.
He has been hot. Guys. He has been hot,
and it's so irritating because I've held him in so many leagues, and now I'm gonna play against him because
he's gonna come back to haunt you.
Yes, he had 6 3-pointers today. He had 3 steals today, and he shot 12 out of 21, which is
what's great percentages. Yeah,
exactly. So I mean, good luck to me because I'm facing him in both of the leagues that I have a matchup this week.
So if you held on to him, congratulations. He has been great, and that would be probably the biggest reason why Brandon Goodwin might not be a good player to hold. Because I think when he started and played well before, Bogdan wasn't really as healthy yet, or he was injured then. So,
yeah, agree.
So I think he is a drop. He could be dropped, or you can stream him from time to time, I guess, if you need assist. But that alone, I guess. Davis Bertans back to the bench. Really, Bertans is probably having one of the more disappointing seasons this year. He couldn't really get consistent throughout the year.
Well, I don't know if it's his fault or the fault of the coach or the management, but they just do not start him. They do not play him that many minutes.
Do you still draft Bertans next year?
No. But I don't know if he's not healthy this year, which is very possible. But I think he came back from a surgery or something, right?
I'm not sure. I couldn't remember. He came back from an injury, yes. But after that injury, he played well. I mean, he played 2 to 3 games very well.
And I can't even remember a stretch. But maybe the 2 to 3 games is he
played well. He played well a couple of 2 to 3 games probably after coming back.
But not the Davis Bertans.
Not the one that we. I think last year we were surprised by Bertans. Okay, so there was really no expectations.
Yeah, in fairness, he had 6 3-pointers the other day. He has 3 today, I think. So
it's not bad.
If you're looking for threes, just threes, nothing else. No rebounds, no steals, no nothing. Then he can be the guy. But if you're looking for the 24, 25 points, multiple rebounds, maybe not.
Here's the lesson I guess I learned this year. I think threes is one of the stat that it's probably easier to get this year. I'm not sure if you'd agree, but there are a lot of people shooting threes. There are a lot of players shooting threes. Mm-hmm. And if Bertans would just be a specialist and he would be an on-off kind of specialist, I wouldn't really touch him. Even a player like Duncan Robinson, who's been playing well, but he's not a player that I probably would draft
next year.
Next year, yeah.
I agree.
Unless maybe it's the last round and they're still available, but yeah, not players that I would draft.
I guess not the player you will prioritize early on or reach for. You will reach early, maybe in the top 100 for these guys. Maybe at the bottom part of the draft, if they're available to round up your rosters.
You could get, 3, 4, 5 steals from a player who you don't need to draft. Wayne Ellington had that stretch. Who else had that stretch? There were a lot of players who had certain stretches of good shooting games. Reggie Bullock.
Even Patty Mills. Patty Mills
had that stretch, right? So these players are just there in the waiver. No one's picking them, right? They can average it consistently. Bertans has been on-off in a lot of games as well. And the last player, Evan Fournier. I have Fournier. I haven't dropped him. I dropped Goodwin first. I said to myself, I'll wait for that back-to-back in Boston because they have a back-to-back on Wednesday and on Thursday. I'll see what happens there.
I would have dropped Fournier first. He's really
over Goodwin.
Right now he's off. I mean, Fournier is off, and I don't. Not only off, he's in a new team which has not had any reps yet.
Yeah.
Just doesn't have the chemistry yet with the players, so it's hard to trust Fournier right now. For me,
well,
rather drop
did
him.
Kemba finish the game today?
I'm not sure. I don't know if any injury.
I think
but
he had.
possibly.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. I have to check that out. But there was this video wherein he asked himself to be subbed and went straight to the locker room. I'm not sure if it's an injury or
tweaked
Paul
his
Pierce
left
moment.
side. He tweaked his left side.
Yep. So that might, boost a little bit of Fournier.
No, but he came back and played in it. So I guess he's fine. But I hope Fournier gets back to some relevance because I love Fournier, but I just don't trust him right now. It's playoff week. So I'd rather go for someone who I think will be a little more competent.
Over Goodwin?
Goodwin, yeah, maybe now I'll go Goodwin over Fournier.
Let's see.
I don't want to make this another useless debate thing.
It's a useless debate, yeah, but we'll see. I dropped Goodwin and chose him over Fournier. So let's see what happens.
I'm saying Kemba is not injured. If Kemba's really injured, it's different. But yeah, right now I'm gonna go Goodwin.
All right. So yeah, that's how we end the show with another useless debate. So yep, that's it for today. Congratulations to those who made it through to the next round.
Yes.
And made it to the playoffs. And for those who didn't make it, well, good luck. Better luck next year, I guess. And
just enjoy the last 3 weeks of the NBA.
The good, yeah, you can just enjoy the last 3 weeks of the NBA and continue listening to us. Maybe you could pick up a few tips here and there that you could use next season. So there you have it. That's it for Daily Fantasy Quickie. We'll see you again tomorrow. Bye, guys.
Bye.